Okay, which vitamin is the essential for blood clotting?
Okay.
Well done.
Okay, what is the largest organ?
I hope your lecturers are
I've just had
listening.
my exams. I'm getting PTSD here.
He's well versed. Now,
champion.
we are joined by a young man whose work has resonated across the UK, Pakistan, and beyond. A voice for justice, a humanitarian campaigner, and a powerful advocate for young people.
He certainly is. He's a multi-international award-winning speaker, a former youth member of the UK Parliament, and a doctor in the making. He has become the first and only young person to speak in the UK Parliament for the right of self-determination for Kashmiris in Indian-operated Kashmir.
Mashallah, he has delivered hundreds of talks across the UK and Pakistan, raising awareness on human rights in Kashmir, tackling knife crime, addressing mental health, and challenging religious discrimination.
His achievements include the BCAo Medal of Honour for International Achievement 2025, recognition as Pride of Pakistan at the National Parade, the Diana Award, the British Muslim Award for Young Achievers, and honours for both the UK and Pakistani governments. SubhanAllah, what an achievement.
Mashallah, incredible. That was a mouthful. And I am not envious that you had to read that at all. Now, a graduate of the University of Edinburgh in neuroscience and someone who continues to use his platform for meaningful change, we are honoured to welcome Arqam Al Hadeed, BCA, to the show. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum, Arqam, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Listen, we are so excited to have you here. We've got so many questions, so we're going to jump straight in. Let's talk about your early motivation, right? Young man, you know, you could be out having fun with your friends, partying and whatnot. These young people do, because I don't know anything about that, right? What first inspired you to step into advocacy and activism at such a young age?
First of all, thank you for such a warm welcome and that introduction as well.
You are well deserving of it. I'll call you doctor. For me, you are Dr. Arqam already, and we've heard what your name means as well. Tell us, what has been your motivation?
Yeah, so growing up, I wasn't born in the UK, so I came at a very young age, and with that, a lot of challenges come. Like, the language is different, the culture is different, so there's a lot of challenges, and at times you feel like your voice isn't being heard. So when I finally learned the language and the culture, I was inside it. I felt like, you know what, there's a lot of people that don't get their voices heard. And on a bigger level, young people are ignored quite a lot by the governments, and even school. If you're in a school setting, you feel like you want things a certain way and the teachers are not listening to you. And at that level, I was in primary school and I was like, you know what, I want to run for the school council because I want to make sure young people are heard. And then from there on, I stood up for the youth council in Leeds. And then from there, I went into youth parliament. And so
you spoke. You were the first person to speak on the topic of Kashmir. How did that feel like?
I mean, it was challenging, first of all, because the debate wasn't on Kashmir. The debate
You just decided to digress the conversation.
I love it.
I had to make sure the topic links to Kashmir somehow, so I made it so I was like, there's a lot of important issues that we're debating today, but one issue that we don't really understand is the issue of Kashmir, and why do people that are not Muslim or Kashmiris care about the Kashmir issue? And at the end of the day, the Kashmir issue is kind of very big because it's surrounded by Pakistan, India, and China. And all are nuclear powers. And at that time, when I was speaking about this, Imran Khan, who was a PM, he spoke in the UN not a couple of months ago at that time, and he was threatening, saying you know what, if things come to worse, we're going to start a nuclear war. If that's the last thing we have to do. So there was that kind of threat there. And it was a big issue. It impacts the whole world. Everybody needs to come together and try to resolve that conflict, you know, when the nuclear powers get into kind of a disagreement.
We do not want that. Now, for us, we know why Kashmir is so close to your heart.
Yeah.
But for those that do not know, why is Kashmir's self-determination at the centre of the work that you do?
So I'm Kashmiri. My mum and dad all Kashmiri. And I was born in Kashmir as well, and it's really close to my heart because it's a very politically divisive landscape there, especially in the Indian-occupied Kashmir. Kind of when you go and see Kashmir, it's literally separated by a river. You can see people come and meet their families from across the river. And it's such a sad atmosphere when you see that happening. And that's 70, 80 years people have not met. So like half of the family had crossed to Pakistan, and then the border set up so they couldn't even ever meet again. So it's really, really challenging. And in the Indian side, there's a lot of like human rights violations that are recognized by the UN and the world that you need to speak up for. Like people there can just get kidnapped randomly. Like there's women, it's the new concept they've created. It's called half widows. So women don't even know whether their husband's alive or not, whether they can go and start a new life. So they're just sitting and waiting around.
Such a common occurrence there, because obviously they're taken as prisoners of war, but they're not. There's actually not a physical war taking place there, but it's the constant struggle of being pulled between these three different countries, three different superpowers, technically speaking. Like you said, Pakistan, India, and China, they all have nuclear weapons. So they can't actually go full swing with what they want to achieve, but they keep threatening each other. And the poor people of Kashmir are stuck. It completely makes sense why you are so passionate about human rights work. Now, as a young person, you've navigated your path in this. But what challenges do you think that young people are currently facing or campaigners face today when it comes to human rights advocacy?
I think in terms of young people, no matter what platform they're on, especially in political world, they're not taken seriously, obviously, because of their age and lack of experience. And that is changing with time, because you see a lot of young councillors being elected, a lot of young MPs like Zara Sultana, who's doing amazing work trying to vocalise the left kind of side of things. So there's a lot of young people coming into politics, and that's changing. But the biggest challenge is for people to sit and realise, you know what, that young person does have a point. What they're saying is important. It is their future they need to kind of help build, because
100%.
it's them, they should be deciding their future, not people that can't relate or live on for that long, you know?
100%.
So I think that's the biggest challenge, to be taken seriously in that room and to make sure your voice isn't taken lightly and other voices are amplified. So that's...
And obviously these challenges, what would you advise these young people to kind of the characteristics that these young people need to have or carry with them to ensure that their voices are being heard?
I think do what I always found good. Like, for example, if you're in a medical school, there's a lot of avenues you can take to make sure you're representing people, you're speaking up for issues. Everybody needs to do work at their level. For example, if you work in an establishment or in a company, you need to make sure if you see something wrong, like racial discrimination or whatever the main issue is, try to do something about it, not be passive people that just see from the sidelines. A lot of times I see a lot of young Muslims, because they're not confident in their identity, in their heritage. For example, I'm proud to be Pakistani, I'm proud to be Kashmiri, I'm proud to be Muslim. And because of that, I can't speak up for these things. But if you feel shy to be Pakistani, you're apologetic for being Muslim, then you can't really stand up for issues.
And it's such a refreshing thing to hear you say that. And exactly what I was hoping that you would say, because there is a lacking of these sentiments in our youth. And what we need to really get them to focus on, this is our ummah. You know,
for sure.
This is the future of our deen, our culture, our nationalities, regardless of whether you're born there or not. You know, like, you know, when we're looking at the current economy and the political stances at the moment, they're telling us to get out. You know, so you know, you might say, oh, I'm not very Pakistani or I'm not very Indian, but where are you gonna go, bro? When they chuck you out, you're going to go back to your countries, and you need to embrace that nationality quick time, because it's not a button that switches on or switches off. You know.
You speak so eloquently, actually, and you get your point across very well. What does the future hold for you, and where can our viewers see you?
So I'm currently a medical student, so I'm really busy with just trying to get that out the way, because medical school isn't what I thought it would be. It's pretty heavy on when you go in.
Yes. What did you expect?
You thought you were going to go in there, start talking about Kashmir, and you're going to get your medical degree.
No, because I was a graduate, so I thought it'll be a lot easier for me, because I've done a degree, I've got an idea of what's going on, and I can still do social things on the side like I'm doing with other degrees. But it's very much, if you're in medicine, it's like a small cult. You're stuck in there, and it's that world forever until it's over. So obviously I want to get my medical degree, and I want to do the core training, F1, F2, and see where that leads me. Like there's a lot of avenues in terms of politics, if I want to go into politics, whether I want to just be part of the NHS in terms of going up in the NHS. A lot of recent research shows the fact that Muslims or BAME communities were hit hard by COVID was because we didn't have representation higher up in the NHS. So a lot of Muslim staff members, nurses, were scared to raise issues that were safety concerns because they thought they'd be like, oh, why are you talking about that? Like, you know, they didn't have that representation higher up. So we need our community, people that are diverse and ethnically diverse at every level, not just in an organization, like at every level. So that makes it truly like accepting and people can feel free to do.
Inshallah. And you know what, it sounds like a very
counts.
bright future, doesn't it? If we have someone like that representing us in the NHS or in the medical sector. Now look, Dina has already said that you're going to be the Minister of...
I can see her.
What was it?
A Minister of Health.
Minister of Health, inshallah. Let's start making dua for him now. But we're going to have
with the degree and the fact that he's going to have hands-on experience.
Inshallah.
Who better to understand the situation of the health concerns that the country will have?
Vote for Arqam.
Even though I'm not standing for election at the moment.
Just get ready to vote for him.
2035, 2035.
Al-Mubarak, inshallah. Now let's talk about knife crime, Dina.
Yes, for sure. We certainly, you have spoken about it in the House of Commons, and talk us through more.
Yeah, so when I was standing for elections, I was 16, 17 years old. And it was a very sad time because knife crime was at its peak in Yorkshire and Humber, which is where I'm from. I'm from Leeds, and in London as well. So it was a lot of issue that was concerning young people because it was impacting them. Those were the people that were losing lives. And in Leeds at that time, I remember a boy called Iffy. He was very well known in the community, and he was stabbed by his friend over a disagreement. And as a result of that, he did lose his life. And it was a very big shock to Leeds to kind of step back and see where are we going wrong in the community. Why are these young people like going to the level that they're now carrying weapons to protect themselves, or is there like some level of unsafety or the mistrust in the police? So that was an issue that really struck with me, and it was really personal because I knew their family and I spoke to them and they were really local. So I spoke about that in the House of Commons, and a lot of young people in the Parliament and across the UK resonated with that because there was an issue that a lot of them could relate to and wanted to resolve. So as a result of that, we kind of campaigned on that for the whole year across the UK. I worked with the Yorkshire Police to get the young people that have had troubles with the police in one room from all across Leeds, and we would do awareness where we would have mothers that have lost their children to knife crime speak in these events. We would have medics come and help with how to treat a wound, kind of misconceptions of carrying a knife. For example, if you're carrying a knife for your protection, there's a bit more chances of that knife being used on you.
Absolutely,
because someone can easily take that off.
Them,
So just kind of to re-educate young people, to build those trust where they trust the police. I mean, the atmosphere we're living in at the moment, there's a lack of trust in the police.
Very volatile. Very volatile.
Very volatile. What happened in Belfast with the knife crime, the riots that came as a result of that recently.
And in Reading, in May, a young man, a 20-year-old, unfortunately lost his life.
Is crazy.
SubhanAllah. But the consequences for the families that these young people leave behind, whether it's the victim whose whole community is left with the pain of not having them around, but also the families of these people who have been misguided, who don't necessarily, this hasn't stemmed from their family, it's just the fact that they've been misguided. That mum or the close family are also feeling the sentence of and the regrets of that person's crimes. But do you know the amazing work that you're doing and rightfully has been recognised by awards? And we celebrate those with you as well. What did these recognitions mean to you personally?
I mean, in a bigger picture of things, whenever I get an award or I get recognition, like I was invited to, as Pride of Pakistan, to the National Parade, it's kind of really, it's nice in a sense that young people's voices are being heard and taken seriously. So I told you that it's always like you can do loads of work, you can do and speak on loads of big platforms. But if no one's listening, then what's the point, you know?
Yeah.
Are you actually getting any work done?
I mean, implementation is not implementation until it has the impact.
Yeah.
Right? And that too, a desirable impact, subhanAllah. And I feel like what you're doing is having a desirable impact.
Thank you.
And something else that is very, very important, and, you know, we spoke about it just earlier in the show this morning, is mental health, right? Why is mental health awareness such an important part of your campaign? Because that is also one of the things that you're doing.
I mean, mental health is something in the Asian community and the Muslim community. It's such a taboo. It's not really spoken about.
No.
And when people get to a level that they can no longer be themselves, they're like screaming and lashing out, they're having psychosis, that's the time we recognize it and it's too late.
Yeah.
And when they go get treatment, they're sectioned or they stay in the hospital, then that kind of stigma builds even further, that you can't speak about mental health because if you speak about it, people will think you're crazy, you might need to get locked up in the hospital. But we need to realize that mental health is not like that. That's because we don't talk about it, that it gets to that level. So we need to talk about mental health. We need to normalize having conversation. That's something I'm working with my mum at the moment, mum and dad, where we openly talk about a little bit about, like, you know, this is how I've been feeling. And sometimes
you're implementing it within your whole household,
and they're like,
your nucleus.
Well, what's that?
genuinely.
No, we don't know what that means.
They joke about it, but it's a good first step. And my sisters, one sister's done medicine. She's thinking of doing psychiatry. One's a clinical psychologist. So it's a mental health kind of household. So we need to kind of...
they need to jump onto that bandwagon now.
We need to start with our family before we preach. So we're starting on the small steps, but it's...
But that's an important step. I think you're talking about impact. You're talking about making sure that at every stage or platform that you have, you are getting the word out. And that's certainly right. In our own households, let's have more honest conversations about what each one is feeling. Allow them to be safe spaces, particularly for young men. Now, I have a 14-year-old, and that's and alhamdulillah, you have a young son as well. About making sure that they feel like their house and then their parents are a safe space to talk about how they're feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, look, everything begins at home, and dialogue, charity, deen, everything begins at home. And if we can't have this open dialogue with our family members, our parents, then, you know, that is exactly what happens. That impact then ends up becoming so severe that the only time you deal with it is when you're being sectioned or when you're, you know, having a psychotic episode and you're being given antidepressants or anti-psychosis medication, etc. Now, this is not the point. We want to get our community to. And similarly, you know, it goes hand in hand with knife crime, because research is showing us that people that are carrying knives have some sort of trauma. Right, that they're carrying. They've got some unaddressed borderline issues that have not been addressed. Or they are living in a space where they're not feeling safe or secure. So, you know, it's really nice how you've kind of brought these areas together and you're supporting the community. And clearly it's being recognised by the awards, both national and international, which is amazing. And I know you just said every time you get an award, you feel like, you know, what's the point if people are not going to see? And I feel exactly that. We feel proud of you, you know, for being that voice, being that face and representing the community, the ummah, etc. Now, let's talk a little bit about pride of Pakistan, you know, because I'm a Pakistani. I was born in Pakistan, and I bleed green. You know, I tell everyone that my blood is green, guys. I joke about it with my family. My daughter recently, she goes, "You don't bleed green, Bibi." I'm like, "No, I do." She goes, "No, you don't. Look, let's cut you open." I'm like, "No." But look,
it is.
Pride of Pakistan, a huge achievement, especially given the fact that we know how difficult it is for Pakistan to recognise Pakistanis. And the fact that you have become that is incredible. So let's talk about the National Parade. It's an amazing ceremony.
I was extremely shocked initially. I got a message from WhatsApp and it was like, we've selected you for this and that. I was like, first I thought it's a scam. I just left it.
I would think the same.
And then we had someone check in and then they verified that, no, this is right. And then it was a shock because it was a very proud moment. I remember mum and dad were emotional. My mum was crying. You know how Asian mums are. And growing up, they've always seen the parade. It's a national thing annually. Sometimes they hold after every 4 or 5 years because of the budget and stuff. So it's a really big deal in Pakistan. So for them, they've never ever imagined. We come from like a very working class family, even in Pakistan and in the UK. So we don't get these opportunities to go to like national parades, sit with the like politicians and the army officials. So it was a big deal, and I took my mum with me. I flew her out with me to Pakistan, and we both went to the parade, and we got to meet the politicians there, but the Chief of Army Staff, which is a big deal in Pakistan.
Yes.
So it was a really, really big thing, and Pakistan showcased their entire like military and the kind of things they have in terms of jets and everything, and they had guests,
And we
the
have
Royal
the best.
Prince. Yeah.
We have the best jets.
Yeah, so
you know,
genuinely,
no
it was
denying
really
that, guys.
patriotic, because that's why I say I'm now British as well. So I'm proud British, proud Pakistani, proud Kashmiri. You need to know your identities.
Absolutely.
And there's
Celebrate
nothing to be
every-
ashamed of to be a Pakistani. When you go to this parade, you see the things they showcase. Do you know Pakistan sends their pilots to America to train them
Yes,
for
yes.
their Air Force. So
Wow.
like some of the best things are Pakistani, whether you like it or
well,
not.
having lived in Islamabad,
I just want
second
to add
that.
on that note, Pakistan may not have a football team that's made it to the World Cup, but
Yet.
the footballs are made in Pakistan. Okay,
There you
guys? Yes, and if you don't believe me, go and Google this, because that ball that being kicked around is
It's
How
Pakistani.
incredible is
Yeah.
The
that?
ball is Pakistani, whether the players are or not.
And
we don't care.
ultimately, it's part of winning
Mubarak.
football. Is that true, Rete?
Yes,
Shall I-
100%.
Okay, I won't fact check. I'll believe you.
Yeah, mashallah. Okay, well, listen, Arqam, it's been a pleasure to have you with us
Thank
this
you so
morning.
much for having me.
Before we let you go, I want you to give us some nuggets of gold from your wisdom and your leadership that you've secured so far. What advice would you give to all the young people and the mums and the dads and the grandmas and nannies and the daddies that are watching us this morning to encourage them as young people to go into leadership and activism, but also to the parents who are actually a massive obstacle.
Yeah.
And they say, nay, nay, don't do this, don't do this. Tell them, give them
Yeah.
some gold. Go on.
Go for
So
it.
I think the atmosphere in the UK at the moment is very tense, and it's only getting worse. So to make sure that we are at the forefront of our communities, we're doing amazing work, no matter what sector we're in. That's really important. Not everybody can go into politics and become a politician or the next minister or MP or councillor. We need to look at what we can do, you know?
Yeah.
So for example, when I joined medicine, I'm part of the outreach ambassador. I try to make medicine accessible for young people from BAME communities that can't really get help to apply for medicine. I'm part of a research group like Equita, which increases like screening for people of ethnic minorities because they don't take up screening. I've changed my kind of campaigning to what I'm doing at the moment. So if you're part of like a particular job or a sector and you see issues, make sure you're at the forefront. If there's an opportunity to be on the board of ethics and diversity, because every institution has that.
Important, for sure.
Yeah,
and
be
how
part of that.
important is representations on those level. Incredible hearing from you. Now we've got a challenge for you. We are going fire
Yes.
round is what I would like to call it for this session. We've got 10 questions, and we'll be looking for your quick answers as well. So you ready?
What's the theme?
He's like, oh my God, I don't know anything about this. Okay, look, we're going to give you a little bit of time to brace yourself.
Okay.
Before
I
we
don't
fire
think so.
away
I
with
think
the
give it to
questions.
him.
No,
Okay.
he's a baby. He's a
He's an
young
accomplished
one.
young man.
Yeah.
He certainly is.
I'm
He's
stepping
an
into the
aspiring
mother role and I'm
doctor.
saying no. Should we do it?
I for sure.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Clearly, she's a little
incredibly-
bit. She's like the bad cop. I'm the good cop. Okay, guys.
Do you know why? I think he will ace it. I am
Inshallah,
telling
inshallah. Okay, let's do it. Right. What is the normal resting heart rate for a healthy adult?
60 to 100.
you. He's done his work. Bravo.
Well done. Next.
Bravo. Okay, which vitamin is the essential for blood clotting?
Okay.
Well done.
Okay. What is the largest organ?
I hope your lecturers are
I've just had
listening.
my exams. I'm getting PTSD here.
He's well versed. What is the largest organ in the human body?
Skin.
Ooh la la. Well done.
Well
I would
done.
have got that wrong.
I would have got.
Yeah.
I would have said brain or something
Brain.
silly, or
I
the
think it's
intestine.
my dad would say my kidney. He's like, you've got stamina, Dina. Go for it.
Kidneys are like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but mine must
tiny.
be incredibly big with the amount of reciting. Which blood type is known for being a universal donor?
Oh.
Or what?
Oh, negative.
Yes.
Ooh, well done.
That's
He was
right.
contemplating.
Yeah. What is the main function of red blood cells?
To carry oxygen around the body.
Yeah, this is a very GCSE level question. Yeah.
Do you think?
I'm shocked.
Oh, I'm like shaking.
Are you shaking in case I ask you the question? Right, your turn.
We should do like a team. One question to you, one to me.
Yes, beautiful. And okay, which part of the brain controls balance and coordination?
Ooh, cerebellum?
Ooh,
Yes.
la la.
Good.
Well done.
Cerebellum. What is the medical term for high blood pressure?
Hypertension.
Even my grandma knows that. Who wrote these questions?
Which hormones regulate blood sugar levels?
Insulin.
Oh, insulin.
Indeed.
Hot topic for
Something
us
that I'm very,
PMEs.
very implicated by. What is the normal temperature for the body in Celsius?
38 degrees Celsius. 37, 38.
I was I've got the
Yeah, I
answer
would've said
there.
38
Oh,
as
if
well.
he said 38, I would have got
That's a
him
little
there.
bit, that's high temperature,
She's
sorry.
just trying to catch you out. This one. Honestly. Go on.
Okay, commonly used checks for pulse. Where would you check the
Which
pulse?
artery?
Which artery?
Brachial pulse?
Yeah.
A
Your
radial pulse, this is called. This is brachial, yeah.
yeah.
Yes,
Where
so
would
which
Radial
one?
pulse.
Radial.
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
radial is what you check to see if you're alive.
So
right?
you know when you go to the Hakim or those old like doctors in like Pakistan and India, the first thing they do is they like,
We still do that here.
yeah, I love it.
Why would they do that?
Because the pulse dictates loads of things. I mean, I'm not a doctor or a Hakim, so let's ask him.
So if there's abnormalities with your heart, you can see if the pulse is irregular or not. If the pulse is strong, that means you're hydrated. If it's weak, it means you're dehydrated. If it's collapsing, then we can, if you lift your arm up and the pulse goes away, then we know there's a valve in your heart that might be abnormal. So there's a lot you can tell from just
Well,
this.
I've been listening to for a few seconds. There's nothing.
no
Zilch.
pulse.
Maybe you're not holding it right.
She doesn't have a pulse, guys. Oh my God.
This is my cue to end. Literally, there is nothing there.
No, I think mine stopped when I started going up.
No.
SubhanAllah, listen.
You've done
Arqam,
excellent. You know what?
it's
He
been-
delivers at every level.
Mashallah,
His
mashallah.
ability to get the point across,
Yeah.
excellent. His obviously medical skills, excellent.
Well, let's wait for my exam results. They're coming soon.
Mashallah, he's going to ace it, okay? Guys, get ready.
Everybody pray for me at home.
Inshallah, make
Sure,
dua
your
for him.
prayers are with
And
you.
please get ready for to vote for Arqam, okay? Inshallah. Arqam, thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
so
been a
much
pleasure.
for
We hope to
having
see
me.
you again
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
show again with some news and more campaigns. And, you know, we're going to get involved, aren't we?
Certainly
Yeah, we'll
will.
share his
I
post.
was a supporter of yours, and I'll remain a supporter
thank you so
of
much.
you as well.
Inshallah. Now let's go to the kitchen and see what Zarqa is dishing up.
Welcome back, guys, to the kitchen, and I'm gonna just now open this oven and see if the chicken wings are actually
The
cooked.
kitchen or the chicken?
Kitchen in the chicken.
Chicken in the kitchen.
Okay. Oh, they look beautiful. Just now going to dish out. So what I'm gonna do, very easy. So let's make it restaurant-style serving. You get a bowl like this, or a dish, or whatever you got at home.
I can't help it. I've got to watch you do this.
She's going to do the whole
over. I was just
Michelin
wondering why
style
Dina's still
dishing
not
up.
here. So fill that in,
Yep.
press it down.
Arqam,
Okay.
do you want to go
I'm
check
going
it
as
out?
well.
Yeah, why not?
And then we're going to, oh my God, it's so hot.
Upside down. Ooh la la.
Ooh.
Okay, so we'll put that there. Oops. Because it's so
Arqam,
hot
go on.
and steamy.
Left-handed person, stick to the left. Dr. Akram, left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get some of these wings off over here.
What a healthy and wholesome meal.
And there's no oil added to these wings
I
at
certainly
all.
saw that.
So yogurt, lemon juice, and that does the trick.
Delicious.
And then we're going to put some of this salad. Remember I showed you how I made this salad. So we're trying to create restaurant-style Turkish healthy
It is nothing less
meal.
than that, Chef Zarqa.
And then we've got a bit of yogurt that can go on top of the bulgur, which they sometimes do traditionally.
Ah, that looks really nice.
Sorry, it's sort of broken, but
Yeah.
and then we're going
can't
to.
cook.
And then you're going to add the Pakistani touch to
I'm
it
going to
by
add the
putting a chili on it.
Pakistani touch, exactly. And then we're going to sprinkle some
thank
parsley
you.
on top. And we're going to ask our lovely guest here to see
Go for it.
If I've done
No,
my
you're
job
the
right.
guest.
Oh,
Do you know
okay.
what?
This is what you
She's
call-
like, Dina, stay away from the food. The chef,
Okay.
the guest gets
I'll
it
taste
first.
a little bit, see how it is.
This is what you call a Turkish dish with a Pakistani touch.
Yeah, with the green chili on top.
Yeah.
With a chef Zerka
I love it.
touch. Okay, wow, wow, wow. This looks incredible.
So tasty.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, she is speechless.
Excellent.
We approve.
And that brings us...
Does Dr.
Yeah.
Akram approve?
Yeah, this is
Akram.
healthy.
And you can't see
It's
any
good.
oil
Yeah,
on the
there's
surface.
no oil, there's
Yeah.
nothing. It's all grilled wings as well. So
Well,
It's a
she got the
doctor-approved
mark of
recipe.
approval from
I'm not a doctor yet,
future
just as a
doctor.
disclaimer.
To me, you are.
He
Inshallah.
will be, inshallah. We're all making dua for him. Yeah,
inshallah.
inshallah.
He suddenly realised that he's found around 3 extra mothers in the journey to become a doctor and politician. We wish him the best of luck, excellent gentleman, future of our ummah, and excellent role model for our children, both boys and girls.